to High Performance Life with me, Kayode Kolade. This is High Performance Life, the show where we talk about the tools and strategies to help you and I be those high performers that God has created us to be. And it's my delight to welcome you to this edition of High Performance Life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? This is our second live session of the year. We had our first live session last week, Friday. And now, just like that, we're talking about the second live session of the year. I'm sure that you are making real progress towards those goals that you want to achieve. I just want to say a very big well done to you and big congratulations. How was your week? I hope your week went well. Just want to say a very, very big well done. The Lord is your strength. I'll continue to keep your hands lifted. So, welcome to another session. You know how we do it every time we come on a live session like this. We always do our high performance review for the week. I always keep telling you how that's so important to our growth as our high performers. Just three simple things. What are you grateful to God for this week? What is that lesson that you are learning this week? And what are you looking forward to in the upcoming week? Just those three things. For me, what I'm grateful for is another opportunity to be here on a live session like this, talking with you. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. Forgot to say my prayers before before coming on. Now that I'm saying it, it just crossed my mind. But I'm always so grateful to God. I had prayed to God earlier in the day, just for this session to go well. Just pray for God's grace, God's enablement. I don't want to do anything this year outside of God's grace and God's backing. Hey, hi, SME Tribe. Great to have you here. So that's just what it is. How are you doing, SME Tribe? Well done. How was your week? It's great to have you here. And so, for me, that's just what it is that this year I don't want to do anything outside of God's grace, outside of God's strength. And I believe that that's the same for you, not wanting to do anything in our own strength or in our own abilities. Like scripture says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me the strength. And, it's just coming back to that place where we are just saying, oh, yeah, awesome. It's great to hear that, SME Tribe. Well done. So it's that thing where you're just coming back to that place where you're just saying, Lord, I rely on you for your grace, I rely on you for your strength. And so that's what it is that I'm here again doing this, and I'm so grateful to God for grace and for strength to be here with you. The lesson that I'm learning this week is the 7 areas you and I need to build wealth. Specifically this year 2024, like I've been talking about for a while, it's all about how do we live our rich lives? How do you live your rich life and have dominion in this year 2024? So that's what we are going to be doing a deep dive in throughout every live session that we are going to be coming on like this. And specifically today, it's about the 7 areas, the 7 core areas that you and I need to build wealth if we are going to live our rich lives and be those high performers that God has created us to be. That's what I'm going to be getting into in a couple of minutes. You want to hang around for that. And then what I'm looking forward to in the upcoming week is the presentation skills and communication skills boot camp that is coming up very, very soon. Presentation and communication skills are still among the top most in demand skills for the year 2024. You want to grow your influence, you want to expand your impact, you want to earn more in this year. It's all about your ability to communicate, about your ability to influence both online and offline. And that's the thing. This is the very first time I'm doing something like this where it's a 2-day boot camp, 2-day intensive training to make sure that you master these two very important skills, presentation and communication skills. To master these two very important skills, you want to be part of it. Just reply mastery in this video, and I would definitely make sure that you get the details to be part of that event because it's going to be absolutely life-changing and transforming. So for me, that's my own high performance review for the week. What's yours, SME Tribe? What's your review for the week? What are you grateful for? What is that lesson that you are learning? And what are you looking forward to in the upcoming week? Just like I said, I know that you are already out there crushing your goals, working on your goals. Remember, I'm here for you. Let us make sure that we work together to make it happen. Yes, I'm grateful to God for life and the opportunity to try again. Awesome, SME Tribe. Great. Thank you for sharing that. So very quickly, I said we're going to be talking about the 7 vital areas that we need to build wealth as high performers, to be those high performers that God has created us to be, and to live our rich life in the year 2024. Yes, okay, SME Tribe, you say looking forward to greater and better opportunities in the new year. Absolutely. That's why we're here. And that's why we keep showing up every time in our live sessions like this, in this high performance community, just sharing ourselves and pushing ourselves, to those greater and better things that are ahead of us. It's very, very, very important. The one thing that we need to always remember is that no matter what the present, no matter what the current circumstances look like, we need to always remind ourselves, like I always say every time we come on live sessions like this, that we need to always remember that tomorrow can be radically different. Tomorrow can be radically different. The future can be radically different. But the question we need to ask ourselves is that, are we prepared for those opportunities? The best way for you to get lucky is for you to be prepared for luck to find you. The best way for luck to find you is to be prepared for the luck to actually find you. And that's the essence of our high performance live sessions like this, to make sure that we are preparing ourselves for those coming opportunities, to prepare ourselves for luck to find us. It's very, very important. And that's why we're doing it. It's very, very uncommon, to come together like this, have a 30 minutes conversation where it's not about dancing, or it's not about cracking jokes, even though, yes, we crack jokes. I crack my sometimes very ridiculous and lame jokes here. But, we come that way. Every time we come here, it's all about serious business. And the reason why that is because we know what we carry inside us, and we know the future that is calling to us. And the future is not it's not some time way off in the distance. It's all that we can be, do, and have, that we are yet to be, do, and have. And so we are calling out those things. That's why we come together every time like this, to make it happen. So very quickly, 7 vital areas that you and I need to build wealth as high performers. Let me start by saying, some weeks ago, I was listening to Dr. David Oyedepo, and he was sharing his story of his encounter with his mentor, the late Archbishop Benson Idahosa. And his encounter, I think it happened in a hotel room or somewhere. And the late Archbishop says to Dr. David that, okay, that you see that bag over there, there's some money inside. Open up the bag and take as much as you would like. And the Dr. David Oyedepo says to the late Archbishop, and says to him, you know what? No, I don't want it. And he says the Archbishop, gets a little bit offended, and is like, why are you saying you are my spiritual son? Are you saying I can't give you money? Are you rejecting money from me? What's the meaning of that? And Dr. David Oyedepo says something, and he says, you know what? I'd rather know how to get it than have somebody give it to me. And that's just so powerful. He said, I would rather know how to get it than have somebody give it to me. And every time I think about that story, the thing that comes to my mind is that, it's very easy to listen to those stories, to hear those kind of stories, and feel very inspired and see those stories as very inspiring. But the critical question is, when the chips are down and the stakes are very high, you and I need to ask ourselves that question, that if you were the one, what would you do? If you were the one, what would you do if you were in that position where you were given an opportunity like this, and you had those bills staring, and you had those deadlines looming heavy over you? What course of action would you actually take? And so we need to ask ourselves these very critical questions, because the answer to those questions, the answer to that question, reveals what you and I truly value. And that's just the truth. We need to be sincere with ourselves that it can be really challenging not to tie your definition of wealth to money, especially when you are in a difficult place financially. can be really, really challenging not to do that. But at the end of the day, it's coming back to that place where we talk to ourselves as high performers, that if it's that next level that we desire in our finances, that's exactly what we need to do to be able to take our eyes off that definition of tying the definition of wealth to money. It's going to be hard. But if we are going to see that next level, that's what it's going to be. That's what is going to have to happen. And it's about that thing where you are saying to yourself that don't chase money. I think that at the end of the day, that's just the point. That's the lesson. Whatever you sorry, Tribe, thank you for your honesty. As in, can I pick the two? That's what we're talking about. And I'm so glad that you are saying that, SME Tribe, because it's coming back to that place of self-honesty. And let's not look at those things as wonderful stories and just looking at it as a very inspiring story, or say, come on, that's Dr. David Oyedepo. He's one of the wealthiest pastors in the world. Obviously, he can say something like that. But interestingly, at the time when he said that, he wasn't one of the wealthiest pastors in the world. And so it's coming back to that place that if we see a greater future, then what are we doing in the moment, really? And so the only way we can do that is to be honest with ourselves, to truly appraise ourselves and say, okay, what's the next step that we need to take? And that's what this session is all about. What's that next step? Don't chase money. Just like anything, everything that you chase, the more you chase it, the more it runs away from you. And I know that somebody is going to get very upset for me saying this. I've said it before, and somebody literally attacked me and said, what are you talking about? Do you know how difficult it is out there? You are saying don't chase money. The more you chase money, and the guy was livid, the guy was upset. And I was just saying, look, no matter what it is, that's just the truth. If we've been chasing this thing for how long, you and I, we haven't still caught it. So doesn't that tell us that we need to change our approach? Doesn't that tell us that we need to change our approach? We need to change our approach. It's coming back to that place that, how do I strategically position myself to attract this thing that I've been chasing so long? The wise King Solomon, he puts it like this. He said, look, don't wear yourself out trying to be rich. Don't wear yourself out trying to be rich. That's what it means, that the more you chase this thing, the more it runs away from you. Instead, position yourself to attract this money. Position yourself to attract this money. And the way we position ourselves to attract money, this money that you and I desire, is by building wealth in these 7 areas. So without any further ado, if that's what it's about, I'm not chasing money, so I've collected it. Absolutely, SME Tribe, we are all collecting it, right? And so that's just what it is, that if we are going to strategically position ourselves to attract money, by building wealth in these 7 areas, what are these 7 areas that we need to build wealth in? And I'm sure you have your pen and your paper ready, because you need to take notes. Number 1, we need to build wealth in the area of spiritual wealth. Number 1 area is the area of spiritual wealth. Positioning yourself to attract money as a high performer is about building spiritual wealth. This is the foundation and the conclusion of the matter. Spiritual wealth. If you are going to be wealthy and attract money into your life, is by number 1, building spiritual wealth. And you just know what that is. The wise King Solomon will always say to you over and over in the book of Proverbs that, and say, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's where it starts from. If we're talking about, okay, that we need wisdom to be able to attract money into our lives, that wisdom comes from God. That wisdom, the ultimate source of that wisdom is God. And so it's coming back to that place where we say to ourselves that this year, 2024, are you rich towards God? Are you rich towards God? Am I rich towards God? That's where it starts from. You and I need to be rich towards God. I'm sure you remember the story of the rich young fool, right? In scriptures, where he says that, okay, I know what I'll do. I've accomplished this much things. Okay, so I will, tear down my barns. I will build bigger barns, And then I will say to my soul, take your ease, your rest, and enjoy your success. And interestingly, that night, God shows up and says, okay, you know what? That soul that you say is yours, I'm going to take it away, and then let's see what's going to happen to the rest of the things that you're talking about. And so it's coming back to that place that without spiritual wealth, we can't enjoy any other wealth that we think that we are going to gain. And so it's coming back to that place that let you and I acknowledge God in everything that concerns us this year. He doesn't only want to be involved with you on, special worship days or sacred moments. He wants to be involved in your life every step of the way. Are you being rich towards God in terms of your financial decisions, your career decisions, your business decisions, your relationship decisions, the nitty-gritty of your day-to-day life? Are you involving God in it? You sit down at your system to get that work done. Are you acknowledging the fact that without God, you wouldn't even have the strength to even sit down at that moment to do the work that you need to do? And so that's just what it is. The first area that we need to build wealth as high performance this year 2024 is the area of spiritual wealth. The second area is in the area of solical wealth. This year, we need to build wealth in our soul if we are going to be able to position ourselves to attract money. It's still in scripture. It says that I think in the book of 3rd John, it says, "I wish above all things, brethren, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." What that simply tells us is that the level of material wealth that we enjoy is directly related to the level of wealth that we build in our mind. And so that's just God has given us a mind, God has given us a brain, He has given you and I a mind and a brain so that we can allow Him rest. We need it's our hard drive, and at the end of the day, what we download into this is what is going to be manifested outside. And so that process of downloading something positive into this is a process called learning. And that's what I've been talking about for a very long time. That is coming back to that place where you are mindful of the things that you are feeding your mind. Are you deliberate about the things that you are feeding your mind? Are you deliberate about the things that you see, about the things that you hear, about the people that you interact with? That's what it's about. We need to be very, very careful, because whatever you see, whatever you hear, the people you interact with, guess what happens? You take off their energy off them, and that energy will be replicated in your life. And so we need to keep our soul healthy. We need to keep our minds well fed. We need to keep our minds well developed. It's coming back to that place where you look at Solomon, the richest man in the world. He had the opportunity. God gave him a blank check and said, see, ask me anything that you want. Ask me anything that you want. But he was so intelligent and so smart that he didn't ask God for money. What did he ask God for? He asked God for solical prosperity. He asked God for wisdom. He asked God for knowledge. He asked God for understanding. Now, I will still come back to that place to say that, see, it's very interesting to read that story and be inspired. But when the rubber meets the road and that thing is truly, truly choking you, and somebody gives you a blank check, what would you do? What would you do? What would you ask for? What would you ask for? And that's just what it is. That what would you ask for? It shows what we truly, truly value. And it's coming back to that place to say that, look, it will be hard, but whatever thing that you ask for in terms of money will only meet the temporary need. The wisdom, the solical wealth is what will create something that is perpetual in our lives. And so it's very, very important that we build physical wealth. The Solomon who we are talking about, he says in Proverbs, he says, see, you know what you should do? Buy truth. Then don't only just buy truth. He said, buy wisdom, buy education, buy knowledge, buy understanding. And then he says what? Don't sell it for love or money. It's there. I didn't say it is there. This is the man with all the wealth that he's had. He's telling you, he says, see, buy all these things and don't sell it for love or money. The reason why he's saying don't sell it for love or money is because they are more valuable than love or money. That's why I say I will negotiate for more. I don't think God will mind. Absolutely, he wouldn't. And so that's just what it is, that it's very important that we realize solical wealth is very important. Next point The next point is physical wealth. We have said spiritual wealth, solical wealth. The next wealth that we need to build is physical wealth. Physical wealth. As high performers, we need to build physical wealth. And what it simply means is that whatever we do this year, see, just take care of your body. What we're talking about right now is more than, oh, new year, new me, new year, new goals. I still saw it recently on social, somebody putting the video, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of videos like that, that the gym in January, and you can barely have a place to put your leg in the gym when it's January. Then the person switched over to the next in the gym, in February, and everywhere was crickets. And so, but that's just what it is, that this is not about, oh, new year, new goals, new year, new me. Oh, this is the time, okay, to now start being very serious about it. This is about your life. You and I, our lives are at stake. Our lives are at stake. I will never forget. I was listening to Dr. Miles Moore recently, and he says, "See, there is nothing as disheartening as lying on your back with big ideas." You need to really think about that statement deeply. He said, "There is nothing as disheartening as lying on your back with big ideas." And so that's just what it is. That, see, it's not about new year, new me goals now. It's not about, oh, being physically fit so that you can take pictures to impress people on the gram. It's about, this is your life. This is my life. Our lives are at stake. We need life is hitting hard in February, no time for gym. Oh my God, that's a bit tribe. I don't know how you come up with all this stuff, but that's the truth. But I keep saying, it's because life is hitting hard. That's why you actually need to hit the gym. It's because life is hitting hard. That's why you need to actually hit the gym. That's why you really need to take your physical health seriously, your physical wealth seriously. You know that saying, right? Health is wealth. I love another reiteration of that statement I saw not too long ago. It says, see, health is not wealth. Health is everything. Health is everything. Everything else is side dressing. I know, for me, that's just so powerful. You say health is not wealth. Oh. Health is everything. Everything else is side dressing. Because without your body, you can't do all those things you need to do. So what is this about? You already know all these things. Take care of your meditation. We have already talked about solical wealth. Be careful about the things you feed in your mind. A cheerful heart is good like medicine. A cheerful heart is good like medicine. How did they put it? The scripture is mixing up in my head right now. A heavy spirit dries the bones. So what it means is that your emotions, what you think, the people you interact with affects your health. So be careful with that. Do your exercise, take your diet, have your rest and your sleep, right? Hang out with positive people, do all those things that you need to do. You already know all these things. We already know these things. It's coming back to that place where we say to ourselves that if we truly desire a change in our finances and in any other aspect of our lives, let us take this thing seriously. Yes, SME Tribe, thank you so much for sharing this and for sharing all the points there. The next thing is influential wealth. We've said spiritual, solical, physical, and then influential wealth. It's God's desire that, see, at the end of the day, that we have with the capacity to effect change in the world. That's what being influential means, that we have the capacity to influence change in the world. And that's just what it is, that, you get to that place where you ask yourself, am I a problem solver or am I a problem creator in the world? Am I just occupying space in the world, or am I actually making my mark? Am I actually making a difference? That's what influential wealth is all about. And we do that by being valuable every day. What are you doing to yourself to increase your value, to sharpen your skill sets, to work on those ideas that you have? That's what influential wealth is all about. And it's very important. The way still, trust me, I'm sure I'm going to I'm going to be mentioning Solomon almost throughout the day, because I just find his advice so powerful. It's still Solomon that says a good name is better than money in the bank. It's right there. Say a good name is better than money in the bank. And so that's what it is, that being influential is saying to yourself, what does your name stand for? What does my name stand for? What is that problem that needs to be mentioned for your name to pop up as the solution to that problem? That's what it's about. What kind of emotion would you like to evoke in people when your name is being mentioned? And so, are you protecting your name? Are you developing your name? Usually people will say to me, I can't do this thing, I can't take that step, I can't work on that project. Nobody knows me. If I put it out there, nobody is going to respond because nobody knows me. And I'm like, dude, how will anybody know you if you don't take on that project, if you don't work on that thing? And so that's what it is, that you have the fact that nobody knows you. It's a beautiful opportunity. It's a beautiful opportunity for you to hit the ground running and do your thing, to build your name. There is power in a name. Whatever a thing is called, that's what it is. And so it's coming back to that place, that what do you want your name to be identified with? It's very, very important. So we've said spiritual, we've said solical, we've said physical, we've said influential. The next one is community wealth. The next one is community wealth. I will never forget the day I sat in a conference and I heard my mentor, Dr. Samadeyemi. He said that, see, your life is too small to be the purpose of your life. I would never forget the day I sat in a conference and he said that. It blew my mind. He said, your life is too small to be the purpose of your life. And so it's coming back to that thing where all this thing about, oh, me, yeah, this, I want to get ahead, oh, my dreams, oh, my goals, oh, my target, oh, my this, oh, my that, my this thing, is coming back to that place that you can't make this thing all about you, right? What are you doing to strategically position yourself to help other people that cannot help themselves? That's what community wealth is all about. What are you doing to strategically position yourself to help the community build wealth, for the wealth of the community, concerned about the prosperity of the community? Because here's the thing, there is no way you can be concerned about the prosperity of the community that you will not enjoy prosperity yourself. And so that's just what it is, that it's about coming back to that place where, how are you being there for people that cannot help themselves? It's one thing for you to do something hoping for the other person to return the favor, that's doing something that for somebody that you know can actually pay you back. But it's coming back to that place to say that, what are you doing for people who don't have the capacity to pay you back? What are you doing for people who don't have the capacity to pay you back? That's what building community wealth is all about. And, it's just so important. It's just so important that, we realize that it's more than us. It's bigger than us. Jesus himself said that I was in prison and you did not visit me. I was hungry and you did not give me food. I was thirsty. You did not give me drink. I was sick and you did not do anything. And the people were like, when did this happen? When were you sick and we didn't visit you? When were you in prison and we didn't come to see you? When were you hungry? We didn't come across you. And he said, see, as long as you did not do it for the least of this, as long as you did not do it for the vulnerable, as long as you did not do it for these people who could not help themselves, you were doing it to me. I know, so it's just so powerful that we take note of that. Next point, social wealth. Next wealth that we need to build is social wealth. And this is all about our relationships. This is about your friendships, your family relationships, and the other relationships in your environment. What are you doing to build wealth in that area? I think I've said this here before, that you've actually met the person. You've actually met the person who can give you a 7-figure opportunity, either in your business or in your career. You've actually met the person. The only challenge is that you didn't follow up on that relationship. And so when you realize that, you now come back to the place where you say to yourself that, look, it's very important that we take our relationship seriously. Social wealth is very important. Thank you so much, SME Tribe, for doing that. Building social wealth is very important. And since the end of last year, I've been coming back to this and I'm still going to be saying it again, that to build social wealth, you need to be careful of the things that can get in the way of you building that social wealth. And number one is offense. Number one is offense. Number one is offense. I'll keep saying, no, you need to be careful of offense, because especially in this time, it's so easy. It's so easy for us to step on one another's toes. It's so easy for us to step on one another's toes. And you would definitely be tempted to get offended. Not even just get offended by, because of access to almost people's lives on a basis. So you go on social and you see that person that you don't even know from Adam, but because you don't even just like the way the person looks, you are angry. Or because you don't even like the way the person talks, you are offended and you are judging the person. And look, we're talking to ourselves, we're all in this thing. And this is the moment where we're talking to ourselves that, see, if we are going to go to that next level, then we need to let go of this. These things are just heavy weights that are preventing us from going to the next level. Because the way you handle your relationships now is the way that you're going to handle your relationships at that next level. He that is faithful in little is faithful in much. It didn't say he that is faithful in little is going to be faithful in much. He that is faithful in little now is faithful in much. And the person that is not faithful in little now is not faithful in much. It's not that waiting for that opportunity. When that opportunity comes, the opportunity is not going to change the person. The opportunity is just going to reveal who the person is. And I know that this thing is difficult, right? Even every day I'm praying, I'm like, God, help me. Some of these people are really, really getting on my nerves. And I feel like just exploding. But you know what? God, just give me the grace. God, give me the grace. God, give me the grace. God, help me. If you don't help me, I cannot help myself. And the reason why we're going through all these things, just like I keep saying, is because the future is bright, open, and free. Thank you so much, SME Tribe. That's so heartwarming. Thank you so much. I saying, the future is bright, open, and free. You are refusing to be offended, not because of the people. Let me just point that out, because you are just like, that thing that person did to me, I can never forgive the person. I can never say I will not be offended. You are not doing it for their benefit. You are doing it for your own benefit. You are doing it for your own benefit because of where you are going. You are doing it for your own benefit because where you are going. Look, it does not help anybody for you to be keeping malice with your spouse. It does not help anybody. It does not help you. It does not help her. It does not help the family. The best thing for you is people look for a way to kiss and make up. Because anybody that is keeping offense or anything, guess what scripture says? It says your prayers will not be answered. In this January that you are praying and you are fasting, is it not in your best interest to reconcile? Is it not in your best interest to just say that, look, no matter what it is, no matter what is the differences, let's find a way to make it work. Let's find a way to make it work. What is that thing that is so important, that is more important than the future that we are going to? That, for me, that's just what it is. What is that issue? What is that issue within your this? And I know that you say to me, Kayode, you don't know what it is, so don't put your mouth. For me, I'm saying fine. But all I'm just trying to do here is to remind you of the beautiful and bright future that is ahead of you and I. The beautiful, beautiful and bright future that is ahead of you and your family. And to say to yourself that at the end of the day, it's about making a choice and to do what we need to do. And then the final thing we've said: spiritual wealth, solical wealth, physical wealth. We said community wealth. Was that the noise? Okay, influential, community, and then social. And then the final one is generational wealth. Final one is generational wealth. Still, Solomon, I know you are tired of hearing, but I'm not tired. But I know that this is blessing you, so don't worry. Very deep truths, and let's find ways to make it work, even yes, absolutely. Yes, right. Thank you so much. That's just what it is. That a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. It's not just for his children, but for his children's children. So, it's coming back to that place where you're saying to yourself that, what am I doing to leave an inheritance for the generation coming after me? And that's just what it is, that we need to think generationally. Yes, I know that right now there are so many challenges coming at us at the moment, and there is that temptation to, to just be all in the moment, to just be all about the present pain that you are feeling right now, and just to look for relief by hook or crook or whatever means. The charge that we need to remind ourselves is that if you use hook or crook to get out of that difficult situation right now, we need to always remind ourselves, this is a sobering truth that even me myself, I don't like to talk about or tell myself. But that hook or crook will find a way to wait ahead for the next generation. And that's why we need to be careful. That's why we need to be careful. It will find a way. It will find a way. And the truth about it is that some of us, we right now we are walking in the blessings of the things that people that were before us did on our behalf. But apart from that, we are also walking in some of the difficulties that were not caused by us, but that were caused by people that came before us, right? And so we now need to begin to say to ourselves that, do we want to make it harder for the generation coming up after us, right? We need to think about them. How can we make it easier for them? It's not as if they are not going to face their own challenges. That's not what I'm saying. It's not about say, you want to protect them and just keep them shielded. No, it's nothing. They can't avoid it. They will face their own challenges. But at the end of the day, he's saying, how are you helping them build the strength for those challenges that they will have to face, to make it easier for them? That's what we're talking about. It's so powerful that, I've been talking about Solomon, but there is somebody I love so much that inspires me, that is my favorite character in the Bible, and that's his dad, David. The guy, his personality is just so powerful, and I find it so inspiring. And one of the reasons why I find him so inspiring is that he left a legacy for his son. It's one thing for you to say, okay, I have this project of building a temple for God, and I have put the building plans, and okay, this is the building plan, take it, my son, and execute it. But David went a step further. He did not only have the building plans, he provided all the resources to make it happen. And we're talking about material resources and the connections to make that project, to make that dream happen. For me, that's just so powerful. Didn't Solomon still face his own problems and challenges? Yes, he did. But trust me, David had set a precedence for him. David had set a precedence in all ramifications. If David hadn't done what he did on his behalf, trust me, Solomon would have found it very, very difficult to accomplish that dream. Perhaps he would have not even been able to do it. And so for me, that's just what it is. That how are we thinking in terms of generation? How are we thinking about building generational wealth? And one of the ways that we do that is by fulfilling the promise to ourselves to dare to fulfill our own potential. That's how we make it easier for them. When we dare to fulfill our potential, they have a ready template that they can see that inspires them to go out there and also do their thing. It's very important. So that's it. 7 areas that you and I need to build wealth as high performers to enjoy our rich life in this year 2024. Spiritual wealth, solical wealth, influential wealth, social wealth, community wealth, generational wealth, and physical wealth. I know I've exchanged the order in which I taught them, but that's the seven areas, very, very vital. Just like I said, it's about how do you position yourself to attract money, not to chase money. And that's just the thing, that we need to think in terms of wealth, not just money. I know you need money right now. I know. See, I know you do. I do too. I need money right now, but we need to think about wealth. That's the only way we are going to see that money that we are looking for. That's the only way we are going to see that money that we are looking for. We need to think about wealth. Dr. Maslow put it like he said, there are 3 kinds of people in the world. There's the poor people, there's the rich people, and there's the wealthy people. The poor people are always thinking about money. Rich people are always thinking about things. wealthy people are always thinking about ideas, about how to create wealth. So the poor person is always chasing money, the rich person is always collecting things, but the wealthy person is focused on how do you create wealth? How do you work out those ideas? And that's just what it is, that especially in this time where everything seems so uncertain and seems so challenging, it's the people that think wealth that will actually make progress, that will actually get ahead. Because while every other person is running all about either, just out of panic or burying their head in the sand and trying to avoid the problem, the wealthy people, they are doing something, they are thinking. And so that's just what it is, that it's about channeling and marshalling our energies wisely. That's what it is. Marshalling our energies wisely to do what to think. Worry is not going to solve the situation right now. Panic is not going to solve the situation right now. Hiding your head in the sand, avoiding the problem, and just thinking that the problem is going to go away is not going to solve the problem right now. What is going to solve the problem is engaging our mental forces, engaging our mind to think of the way out, because it's there. The truth about it is that you are using your mind not to create a way out. You're only using your mind to find the way out because it's there. I love the way the wise King Solomon put it. He says, there is much oil to be desired in the dwelling of the wise, but the foolish person squanders it all. I don't know if that sounds too King James for you. Let me just break it down. What it just simply means that there is treasure, there is good things in the home of a wise person, but the foolish person doesn't see it, and so he wastes it. So the truth about it is that the person that is wise and the person that is foolish both have treasure, but the foolish person, the problem is that the foolish person does not recognize that treasure that he has. And so that's what it is, that right now, you and I have that way out right there. It's about engaging our mental capacities to recognize it for what it is and to walk out of it. And most importantly, to remember that as you are looking for that way out, so many other people are looking for the way out. And that's what we need to remember as high performers, that the way we make this thing happen is by turning the spotlight from ourselves and focusing it on other people and saying, see, this same desire, this same way that I desire to make my dreams happen, how am I strategically position myself to help other people achieve their own dreams? You do that, and trust me, you will definitely see your own way out. What you make happen for others, God will definitely make happen for you. And that's what it is. That's what it is. I let me stop here because I know I can keep talking until forever. But I know that you found this very, very insightful. I know I have, and this is a learning journey for me, and I'm always just so grateful for us to go along on this journey. Please, let's make it happen. Whatever questions, whatever things that you're learning, bring it together, bring it to this forum. Let's talk, let's debate. No, is debate the right word? Let's talk about it. Let's share this stuff with other people. So many people out there are looking for a way out in these times that we are in. They are just looking for solace. They are looking for help. They are looking. Oh, thank you so much, SME Tribe. God bless you too. Amen and amen. They are looking for a way out. They are looking for help. Let's share these things. It's the least we can do, and help them find light in this seemingly very, very dark times that we are in. So that's it. Thank you for being here. Thank you, SME Tribe, for sharing all the lessons here. As always, you are the best, SME Tribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are always here every time, and I appreciate you so much, SME Tribe. Thank you for being here. Um, look out for all the great stuff coming out over the weekend. New long form video, the new newsletter that is coming out. Everything just channeling our focus for us to go out there and make it happen in the new week that we're going on into. Till then, I'll just say enjoy your weekend, enjoy your time with your family, enjoy your time with friends, everything that you are doing. I pray for God's grace and strength and success in everything that you are doing. Don't forget to reach out to me, send me a DM on Instagram, send me mastery on Instagram to be part of the presentation and communication skills boot camp. That is one of the ways we make ourselves valuable. That is one of the ways we build wealth. So you need to sharpen your skills. Send mastery, 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 as a DM to me on Instagram at Kayode Kolade, and I'll make sure you have the details to be part of that event. Yes, thank you so much, SME Try, for that. Till I see you again, do take care. Your greatness is very sure.